It's just fantastic.
Captain's Log, Subdates 210503.4. D. Orkta arrives at the Arcadia within a week. Royal Mail have really stepped up their game to get him here on time. I just hope they've been feeding him and cleaning him out. So on Twitter I noticed this tweet. Have you heard about Achilles Argyle? I'd be interested to hear your take on his controversial Why We Need Racism video. At the time of that tweet, I had not. That was yesterday. Today though, I know plenty because I watched it. It was re-uploaded to a Google Drive and I downloaded it. Okay, someone else did for me because I couldn't be bothered. I then, while watching that video, did some digging. Achilles Argyle does in fact have a Twitter, and on Achilles Argyle's Twitter, it has in fact been mentioned that the video was pulled by YouTube for violating TOS, which is quite amusing because the person within the video, Achilles Argyle that is, wanted people to like and share so the video would blow up. Instead it got Thanos snapped. This does mean I can't play the video in this video, which means it would be a response video, but it is instead me commenting on what I observed within the video. The title is Why We Need Racism, and in the first 6 seconds, Achilles Argyle says, racism is bad, to then go on for 9 minutes and 58 seconds to talk about why racism is good because of context, historical context, and a fundamental misunderstanding of culture, race, and Middle Eastern issues. There is a channel I found during my research travels called GF Savages. I'm going to link their channel as a pinned comment down below. The reason why is because they have in fact called this channel out on a number of occasions. And within those videos, they've asked for a debate, which they never got. They mocked the fact that the video got pulled, which doesn't surprise me in the slightest. It should have been mocked. It also doesn't surprise me that the video was pulled, because that video by any stretch of the imagination was spicy. And the final video that GF Savages has made more recently is called Who is Achilles Argyle? And within that video a few good points are raised. One of the earliest is the channel Achilles Argyle was created in April of 2020, and that many of the talking points came across as a form of parody, but with the delivery of a cliché skeptic clone who has zero tone conveyed in their voice, because they sound bored, pretentious, high and mighty, and super intellect, when no doubt they, like the rest of the skeptic clones, have a below average IQ. Yes, that's self-deprecation. At present, on the Achilles Argyle channel, there is no content. That would be on the 3rd of May 2021. It is possible by this time tomorrow there is in fact a video. So I'm unable to base their content on anything but the one video that they themselves have in fact shared via Twitter, via Google Drive. One of the most alarming aspects of the video I saw, if we ignore the racism for a second, was the clear foot fetishist content. I swear I saw smoke clouds developing over those stinky feet as the toes parted, as they stretched, as they twisted, thumped on the table. I'll give you some credit for the additional stills with the avatar, but you lose points because you don't wash your feet. So perhaps I should address a few of the points I've jotted down here that were within your video. The earliest is that you believe, although this could well be a troll, that an ethno-state is good. I personally believe the concept of a bigger picture, which is what you are trying to argue for so much of the video, is utterly redundant to me, and by extension, I could not care less about the race of any individual that resides or exists or has families within the country I live in. So if to you the individual race matters and you want an ethno-state, go nuts. But the court of public opinion in my country is, we don't care about race as much as you think. We like people of other races, but we don't treat them as tokens, or base them solely on the colour of their skin. If we, the United Kingdom that is, took issue with race, we would have never asked people from the Caribbean to come over to the United Kingdom to help us. To further prove your point, you reference China as a perfect ethno-state, a totalitarian regime that was the winner of centuries of wars fighting amongst itself. Turns out, apparently, people want to be controlled, and if you want to base an ethno-state being successful on a communist regime, then chances are you don't quite understand just how stupid that comment is. Especially when you consider what China has been doing to people who are not, let's say, conforming in China. Uyghur, my friend. The word is Uyghur. You then go on to reference the Kurds, showing your ineptitude at understanding culture, history, and nationalities. This has been pointed out on the channel where this video was mirrored in the comments down below by many people, and on Twitter. Not that you've acknowledged any of it. You seem to have taken a step back, and you're only responding to your own indignation that your content is no longer on YouTube once, and then you simply tweeted nothing more. You then move on to talk about a historical point, that to you slavery is good because of what was achieved because of it. Sadly, no one agrees with this now. While many can accept slavery did in fact build some of the greatest monuments to exist on this planet, people at the same time are culturally divided on whether or not they should remain. Some go so far as to rip those statues from the ground, because they think by erasing the history it will never repeat itself, which is not how it works at all. Others think they should be there, but we should be told everything about them so as to best understand where we were then to where we are now. An appreciation, also acceptance for one species' failings. Oh, and on the subject of slavery, I guess this fits with your belief of China because many slaves died to build the Great Wall of China. One of the biggest glaring weaknesses within your own video is the fact that you treat people by race, which is an issue many people have taken with this video. The issue should always be addressed to the individual. A lot of issues, yes there are some, can be attributed to racial divides. Yes. The vast majority of that, though, can be attributed to cultural differences. That takes time, effort, patience, and diplomacy to resolve. Granted, we are living in quite polarizing times. It is quite frustrating that there are people that devolve the issues down to something as arbitrary as the hue of one's skin. But to seek a way of resolving the issue, we don't respond by doing the same. You also mentioned within your video why it is not seemed or deemed culturally acceptable to call out another country for their failings, which I would argue are less racial and yet more cultural. But you have bound the two together, conflated them even. To better prove your point, you reference India. Vast amounts of carbon dioxide, people defecating in the streets, incredibly unhygienic. India right now is suffering and paying the price for many issues they have, the most important of which is one that the world is trying to help them with. That is a cultural issue though, not a racial issue. Lack of hygiene, cultural. Carbon dioxide, again, cultural. But you seem to think this all ties to race and we can't call India out because of it, which I fundamentally disagree with. You can call any country out for their failings as a country. If you go and say, "Oi, you with the whatever colour skin you have that isn't the same as mine, you've done something wrong that is the fault of your race," you are no better than any of the other 2D morons that believe the onus of all the world's problems are the white people's. I've just realised I've prattled on for quite some time. This could well be a Poe. Who knows? I still think you should debate GF Savages. I firmly and fully support this, but I also think you should all go and subscribe to GF Savages. At time of recording they have 182 subscribers. I'd like to see that number go up quite a bit please, as they do make some funny content. As we're done, I do want to know what you think. I'm going to link the tweet that has the Google Drive link, that has the video for full context down below. Do let me know what you think. As a final thing, no lives matter, seriously, and I shall be streaming on Twitch tonight. If I don't see you there, have a fantastic day, and thank you all very much for listening. Oh, and wash your f***ing feet.